Interjections. Ex-Muslims have very specific mannerism. Their tonality and their voice, the movement of their face, all of those little subconscious actions, they are very identical. When he married her, she was already divorced by Zayd. He wanted to keep her within the confines of a tribal family, in a way where he could still call her kin. He did not tell Zayd to divorce her. He instead advised him multiple times to keep her so that the tie of kinship would remain between her and the Prophet. People have read about the Prophet, but they would not show disrespect against the Prophet in the manner that you had just displayed. They would hold him in reverence for being the messenger of God. Those like you who try to make Islam seem untrue on the basis of the life of the Prophet or what he did are only trying to incite doubt and are not trying to point people in the right direction. How would showing people the truth of what you're saying be combined with insults and disrespect? I have no idea. But you focus on the life of the Prophet a little more. Maybe one day you would realize that you made a mistake in trying to contest religion this way. The audacity some people have in speaking about the Prophet thus. How audacious would you be when the one who sent the Prophet is the one you'll be forced to testify in front of? Whether you're a Christian, a Jew, a Hindu, or even an atheist who doesn't believe in God altogether, such statements about the Prophet, who can be proved by every method that God had indeed sent to humanity, should not be uttered. Even if you do not follow the faith, there has to remain some intrinsic morality which came along with your coming into being. If humans shun this morality, then it is no wonder some people mutate into actual pigs and monkeys. It would even be lawful and permissible by all those religions that were sent by God to even call you a monkey. When faith is shunned, when morality is shunned due to hatred and enmity, when remains of a human purpose other than their animalistic nature, you would live for the sole purpose of pleasing your own self with the amounts of clicks you would receive on a video or likes on a post. Grandeur and ego, that's your poison. Some people would ask about the validity of loophole reasoning, circular reasoning, and rhetoric. Since truth is pure in its essence, then it does not require anything more than what has already been said to describe it to be said about it. In a way, it is perfect in its essence, and nothing that would be said about it more would make it any more true, correct, reliable, or factual. It means that anything we say about the truth would just revolve around it, not entirely describing truth, but rather highlighting a certain aspect of it. No one can have full knowledge of a thing, let alone describe it in mere words that would make that thing constrainable, especially when the truth itself is bound to be observed and internalized by humans who perceive it. The metaphor of a good word as a plant that is bound to take root in the hearts of believers, springing forth good harvest and reaps good benefit for the one who plants it. You reap what you sow. If it is truth that is being propagated, it is bound to take root because it springs from a good that exists to be perceived and found out. The reason why that sounds very probable is because it would mean that the devil, who was given that title by God and the name of he who had given up on God's mercy, thinking that mercy happened because he cried for it for a long time. Mercy of there being other creatures of God who are strong and devastating. It was a promise made by God and thus was shown worry by the angels. The real angels who were created from pure light rather than receive light due to their service to God. The real angels ask questions. How could asking questions had been made punishable for humans? We would make his heart so narrow as though he is being led up a stairway to heaven. There are many times when it is hard to believe that dedication is important. Cursing yourself. What is the difference between a curse and a hex? A hex would only be applicable upon humans because it only pertains to their sensory organs and the way they perceive things. It sounds very awkward to know that some hexes can be used to give us infinite tries sometimes, but the real reason why I use it that way is because it matters. If writing is similar to reading, or writing is only as though one is reading out a book, it would very much look like it is a person who is cheating, or a picture of a person who uses grimoires. If Adam was given the chance to name the things he saw from the spiritual world and how demons saw him, it is narrated that demons have no access to see what our eyes can see. And the only way for them to see other people is through what God allows them to see. Why would demons want to see what we see if they can see us and we can't see them? In a sense, it makes it easier to distinguish deals. I could speak about holding grimoires because it cannot be known as it is a thing of the unseen, which also includes people's dreams and wishes. If a person was a wish, if a mother only gets pregnant when God wishes, it is as though the shock is all it takes to do anything. Like, for example, announce the different interjections in whichever way of form they appear.